Good day everyone, this is the Miss Juan Paalisbo introducing to you the topics that I want to discuss. The topic that I will be discussing is about psychoanalytic theory.
We couldn't talk about the theories of personality or psychology without mentioning Freud. Sigmund Freud is one of the most famous and controversial minds of the 20th century. His psychoanalytic perspective of personality offers a unique way of looking at the body and mind connection to personality. So in order to know Freud, we have to know three following terms: the id, the ego, and the superego.
Our set of three concepts is psychoanalytic, describing distinct interacting agents in psychic apparatus.
These three characters are driven by unconscious energy. Now, a person may not always hear or talk to these parts of their personality, but they are all silently going through a struggle to influence our decisions and our behavior. The id is the bad boy of our subconscious. It is an impulsive part of the psyche that seeks pleasure and avoids pain at all costs. The id wants instant gratification. It is the part of you that grabs for food as a baby or acts to satisfy sexual desires without thinking it through. Now, the superego lies on the opposite end of the spectrum. This part of the psyche wants to control the id. If humans acted only based on receiving instant gratification and immediate pleasure, we would surely be in a whole lot of trouble. The superego unconsciously and consciously acts to follow the rules of society and tries to keep the id from causing some serious damage long term. Now, the ego lies in between the middle of these two entities, in between the id and the superego. The ego is in constant struggle to balance out these two forces and try to make pleasurable decisions without causing too much damage. It's like a well-minded adult standing in the middle of two children wanting to overthrow each other.
Some of the examples of psychoanalysis include a 20-year-old will void unhealthy has a seemingly irrational fear of mice. The fear makes him tremble at the sight of a mouse or rat. He often finds himself in embarrassing situations because of the fear.
Counter 5 psychosexual stages of development. During each of these stages of development, the id is focused on a specific erogenous zone. Now, the ego must struggle to balance out the pleasure-seeking id and the moral superego. During each of these phases, internal conflicts will result in many different types of struggles. Now, Freud said personality is formed by the process and the results of each of these struggles. So there are 5 basic stages. The first one is oral, the second one is anal, the third one is phallic, the fourth one is latency, and the fifth one is genital. Freud believes that most of our personality has actually been formed by the time that we reach age 5. At the age of 5, a child has gone through the oral, the anal, and most of the phallic stages. Now, if the child continues to struggle with balance during these stages, they will develop something called fixations. For example, stage 1 is the oral stage. Oral fixations include smoking or problems with eating. If someone fails to master potty training, or they still struggle during the anal stage, then as they grow into an adult, they may become a sloppy or a lazy person. This is actually where we get the term anal retentive. During the third stage, the phallic stage, Freud believed that boys and girls start to notice the differences in each other and develop either the Oedipus complex or penis envy. The Oedipus complex is the idea that unconsciously, young boys feel possessive of their mother, and as a result, they feel very aggressive towards their father. Freud also believed that young girls experience something called penis envy, and due to their lack of a penis, develop fixations to follow them until they're an adult. If Freud's ideas make you uncomfortable, either for the fact that he focuses explicitly on sex or that he seems to frame women as the lesser sex, you're not alone. Actually, it was a little weird talking about these into a microphone.